that happened because I was a full-time. Most of my teaching jobs, I like to split them with somebody else, like we'd co-teach or we'd send kids back and forth. I'd be on full-time, but not with the same group.
Yeah.
So one time I got one group by myself all day long, 5 days a week. And it started to become a little torturous because, yeah, it was all around books and learning. And, and so then I thought, okay, I can't deal with this. I have to take them out. So I said, all right, you guys, every Wednesday, we're not going to do books. We're going to either go outside or we'll learn through other ways, through cooking or through whatever. We're going to do anything but books.
What grade
And
was that? Do you?
that was the fourth, fifth thing. And
Okay.
I carried over to the high school because we created a service day, and another day I think was elective day or something. So once I learned it there, we carried it into the high school. I just had 5 days is too much. What I found is when you give them a break like that, they're so much more willing to give you the book stuff and the paper stuff on the other days because they know it's
Mm.
not forever. So it became Wednesdays and Fridays where we didn't touch books.
Wow.
We like sometimes I would have them. If we touched paper, it was more for them to express, like in a journal. Um, and if we touched a book, it was more just a story reading, pre-reading that they did. And they could take their book up into a tree, or I'd have them sit by a tree and have a conversation with the tree and journal about what the tree told them. And there was this one kid who said, trees don't talk. And I said, well, sit by him anyway. He needs a friend. And he sat by him, and when he wrote his journal, he said the tree did talk to him. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I
anyway.
love that. So you found that just having 2 days without the books and paper really like gave them the enthusiasm when the books and paper were actually there.
Yeah. 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 Because you do have a lot of kids, especially in every age, but especially in those feeling years where they just need to move. I mean, they just, the body years for sure, the 0 through 6 years old, the 6 through 12 years old, they still need to move a lot. And they shouldn't be sitting a lot. In high school, they shouldn't be sitting a lot either. College, all right, you could punish them, or reward the intellect. but yeah, they were just telling me, through their attitude, and I just thought, no, it's not.
Mm.
It's scary for teachers to let them get out of the desk. My glasses keep falling. Um, so, so because sometimes the kids aren't used to that and they don't know where the limits are. So
Yeah.
for the younger age, sometimes I would just bring a sheet, like a bed sheet, or 5 sheets or 3 sheets, and we would use sheets. Okay, you guys can pick a sheet, take your sheet. I want you to stay on your sheet while you're doing your whatever you're doing. And they love the sheets, and they can make a mess, and I'd let them draw on the sheets. It's not, it's just so that there's not like it's an undefined space. Sometimes they need an
Ah,
undefined space, and sometimes they need a defined space.
interesting. I like that. Would that also be, I mean, would that work best for kids that are a little older, like you were saying, like fourth grade and up through high school? Not so
And
much.
that works for real little kids too.
Yeah.
The little kids, the high school kids. Nah, the high school kids, I would just define areas. Like if we were outside, I would say, tell me how far we can go to the right. Tell me how far we can go. And usually I'd let them decide. And that's where the whole idea of the progressive development, the whole learning how to work with different kids at different levels of progressive development. So you're always looking for the light kids, and those are the kids who not only think of what's best for them, but what's best for the group.
Yeah.
And I may ask the group, what do you think? And everybody may shout out their ideas, but I'm listening to that light energy that says, I feel like we can handle this, but we can't handle that. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sort of thinking maybe we'll use this, 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 this. And they don't know who said what because they're so concerned about what they said. So it's fine. Yeah. So, yeah.
Great. Those are really great examples for teachers to hear, I think.
But yeah, they teach you, the kids teach you. And I always feel like, poor first, second, third year teachers, as you're learning how to listen and how to trust yourself. I think my biggest mistake was to try to listen to everybody equally. And towards the end, I realized, no, that wasn't such a good idea. It's good to love and accept everybody equally, but I could have gotten the light energies sort of more involved in helping me make decisions. And I have a story about that.
Okay,
and
great.
and it wasn't until after I stopped being a full-time teacher and I worked with as a substitute teacher when it was that first grade class. There was one girl that had really light energy, and light energy never wants to draw attention to themselves. Sometimes you might think they're shy. Light energy sometimes will draw attention, but for the good of everybody. But she was one of those that was just sort of quiet. And the two other teachers came in, and they were one I was observing, and one of the teachers was leading a lesson in how to write a paragraph. I don't know, for first grade. It seemed a little advanced, but anyway. So, and she had an 8, and they both focused on the kids who were having trouble, really struggling, or saying, "I hate this, I don't want to do this," and that's lower in the spectrum. And it's not like a kid is light. So I want to be clear about that. There aren't light kids. There's light energy, right? So you're looking for the energy to manifest through the children. And so there's this heavier energy manifesting, and they were trying to sort of calm that down because that can be loud and negative. And then you could also have the loud and positive. Why don't you guys all be quiet and just do what the teacher said? Okay, you have those too. And then you just have the quiet, like the kids who aren't going to do anything. That's the heaviest energy. And they're not going to make any noise either because they don't want to be noticed. And you have the light, quiet energy that will just do it quietly. And for the first time ever, I decided to focus on that light energy. And I went over and I checked in with this girl and I said, how's it going? And she said, it's going pretty good. I said, would you like some help? And she said, well, I don't understand these two things. And so I explained it to her and I made sure she got it. You got it? I got it. Okay, she did. She automatically finished her work, got up, and went to go help somebody else understand it. And I thought, that's what I should have been doing. That's why you feed that energy, because that energy always includes others. And so it's going to be automatic that you get help when you do that.
So is that something you started doing more and more in your classroom?
I wasn't a teacher anymore. I was a teacher. I was teacher trainer. Like I'll go into other schools and other classrooms and observe the teachers and give them feedback. And I always talked about this, but I never quite understood. I knew the theory, but I never saw it in action, and I didn't I didn't know what would actually happen. Because what I used to do is tell them, when I saw that light energy, I would tell them, "Can you go help so and so, or will you do this for me?" But I didn't realize that they will do it automatically if you just feed them a little bit. Um, but but in the book, Education for Life book, he talks about that that's what you want to do, and that's what's going to happen. But I didn't quite believe it, I guess. I always wanted to keep the noisy negative ones quiet, and I put a lot of energy into that. Yeah.
How many years as a teacher did you feel that it took to see that kind of thing happen?
It took all my years because it was only like a year after I stopped teaching that I actually learned it. And I feel like that is what I'm doing. That after I stopped teaching, I started studying the philosophy a lot more, and I started observing it in action in classrooms that I observe. I started to be able to practice it when to model it. Like, I'm going to try this. When I would called into classrooms to substitute or whatever, I would practice it, the theory, and I would see how it worked, and then I could share. And I that's why I feel like I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, sharing this philosophy with new teachers or interested parents, because I wish I understood it when I was a teacher, but I didn't have time to study, so I got roped into teaching, and nobody was really teaching it. So now we're really teaching it, hoping to give people a head start. Yeah.